for people that struggle with self-love, um, I would say it's not an on-off switch, obviously. It's a journey. It's like any relationship with anyone, you have to work at it. What would be ways, techniques? I know, again, it's kind of putting it in a package, but how can we develop a better relationship with ourselves?
It's a long story, unfortunately, and it's bad news in our bite-sized world. It's a very bad news, especially
Yeah.
for my marketers. They hate me for saying that, but but the thing is that any relationship expert will tell you that, not relationship expert. Let's say any psychologist, psychotherapist will tell you that if a certain problem has taken a certain time to take root and to happen in your life, it will take at least half that time to undo it.
Mm.
So whatever your age is, so in our case, it's 46, 47, right? It took us this time to create that relationship with self that we have at this moment. So if you want to change it, you would probably have to take a little bit of patience, probably not 23 years, but a little bit of patience.
Not, jeez.
No, it's not too bad. I mean,
I would be 75 years old and be like, I finally love myself.
Trust me, you probably loved yourself pretty long until you hit teenage years. So it's a little better than that.
Sure.
To answer the question a little bit more practically, I would like to say that not most of us are not even aware that we are in a bad relationship or in a toxic relationship with ourselves. And I don't like the word, I don't like throwing the word toxic lightly. But imagine it as any kind of relationship that we take for granted. Yeah. For a lot of people, it's husband and wife. We take them for granted. We don't even analyze, is it a healthy relationship or not? For some people, it's children or parents or friends. Mm-hmm. And very often when we take a relationship for granted, its natural course of change is deterioration. Mm-hmm. Because we ignore, it's like if you take your health for granted, it's quite likely going to deteriorate. Oh, yeah. So the first step is actually to try to assess, so in what kind of relationship are you with yourself? And here are a few pitfalls. First of all, we are not very used to hearing ourselves or being with ourselves. In our industry, we hear a lot, don't be in your head, be in your body. Head is a bad neighborhood. But it's in the head where the cognitive processes happen. And you need some cognitive processes to start noticing what's going on. So we are not used to even asking ourselves questions. And another thing is that we are not used to prioritizing our relationship with ourselves. I know it, I have it. My child is actually very easy, but as a mother of a teenager and a business owner, I can relate. Mm-hmm. We very often say, I don't have time for that fluffy stuff because, for example, my business is going through a crisis or my teenager is not listening to me. I have more important problems in my life, so I don't have time for my well-being. Mm-hmm. The very important correlation that we don't see here is that your relationship with the world is a reflection of your relationship with yourself. And very few people remember when you started your business and you were actually starry-eyed startup entrepreneur, nothing was a problem for you. Everything was just an interesting challenge to crack. Later, when you get jaded and tired and exhausted and burned out, you start seeing that, your business is a problem and you don't have time for your well-being without realizing that, no, in reality, you have a problem. And that reflects into your business. And I know it not just from hearsay. If you remember, I said I was doing Mindvalley in Russian. Of course, this business is closed because of the war, but I had done it since 2009. And in 2014, Russia attacked Ukraine for the first time. We don't remember that anymore, but it took a piece of it, Crimea. And that was when I had full-on business in Russia. 70% of my market was in Russia, 30% was in Ukraine and Kazakhstan. So 80% of my business was at war. And there was a massive economic crisis happening. Yeah, there was inflation so bad that it's like the numbers were crazy, and I thought my business was going to go bankrupt. Mm-hmm. And it just coincided at the same time I had a really bad relationship with my business partner. Mm. I was unhappy. I was waking up every morning thinking, as an entrepreneur, I have to shove it, where, and and be a stoic, actually show and do it for the sake of somebody. It was such a beautiful story. I tolerated my business partner because I thought that was my holy responsibility. Now, it's a little, confusing maybe storyline, but at some point I realized that I can't go on like this, and I broke up with my business partner. And the next morning, I felt like I had wings behind my back. I actually felt that all these stories were just fear speaking.
Right.
Nothing was so good for the business. Now, the extra interesting thing is that this was happening when 70% of my business market was at war, or 80%, in fact. And there was a massive economic crisis. And I broke up with my business partner, and suddenly, overnight, I felt happy.
Right.
And my business not only survived, in 2 years, I did better and more than before that. And right now, when Russia is at war, full-on war with Ukraine, and we can't sell to Russia, it was 80% of my market at some point. We lost it 2 years ago. But the business is doing better than when I was suffering.
Wow.
Yes. We are selling in Russian language abroad, not to Russia, but abroad. So it is there, and it's doing better than before all of those hurdles, because I'm at peace with myself.
Yeah, that's the bottom line. That's the through line here. When we become at peace with ourselves, everything else in our lives seems to flow a little bit better. Would you agree with that? In your case, flourish. Right?
Not only that, but it also, my interest in self-love started from me teaching happiness. And I understood one very, very simple thing. You cannot be happy if you are not at peace with yourself.
Right. Amazing.